following program is a production of Ho'ike Kaua'i Community Media.
Aloha everyone, here with your second County Council update for the month of May. We're covering the meeting from May 28th, and they actually voted to unanimously pass the County Council budget, the fiscal budget for 2025 to 2026, and that was a pretty major breakthrough. It may not make headlines, but it literally funds everything from roads to services that we use all the time. So I actually asked some of the council members to join me in just kind of talking about the meeting, their reflections on top of the budget, and yeah, I will hand it over to them.
So today we have the first reading of a bill on exempting sewer fees for affordable housing. So how did you feel about that? I thought it was a great start.
Yeah, one of the biggest challenges for housing, especially affordable housing, is the startups phase. And that is where infrastructure is needed. And these kind of things that we can do to alleviate the challenges so that these projects can go faster, so the community can get more housing quicker is necessary. And so how it works is it goes to first reading, then it goes to committee. Actually, it goes to public hearing first. So to give the community a chance to share their thoughts about the idea, about the proposal of the bill. So please look out for the agenda where that comes out. At the public hearing, then it goes to committee, and that's where we do most of the work. And any thoughts on that you want to share?
Yeah, I'm just excited that you guys are working on this. It'll be interesting to see what kind of feedback we get from the community. I think anything that we can do to encourage truly affordable housing and to cut down those costs of startup for organizations like Habitat for Humanity is really important to our future. So I'm grateful you guys are thinking about this, and I'm looking forward to the discussion.
Also, and the next most important thing, and the one that we do want to highlight for the majority of this top story, is the budget. Today we pass unanimously the 2025-2026 fiscal budget for County of Kaua'i. It was a very smooth process. Budget timing and budget hearings and all the things that it takes to figure out what the priorities are for our community and making sure that each department is doing what it needs to help our community is a difficult task. And this is the biggest piece for our county council. If you think about functions of the county council, how was your first experience on budget?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a huge learning experience. I think we spent a couple of months just really going through the numbers, and it was a little overwhelming at first when you get that massive binder, all the numbers and all the lines, and just learning the process and system. I definitely learned a lot. I'm grateful for how well our committee meetings were chaired by the finance chair Kanashiro. And it was really interesting to see the process by which we can kind of weigh in and make changes to the administration's budget, and just the awesome collaboration between the mayor's department and our council members. And of course, like was so many times repeated today on the floor, what an amazing staff we have that really dedicates their time and energy to the budget to make sure that we get our answers to the questions that we have. And yeah, it was wonderful to see. I mean, I guess it brought up today that we're starting off with more money this year than we often have, which I guess it's a great time to become a new council member when we actually have money to invest in our community. But I'm excited to see what some of these CIP investments lead to, and the better improvements to our parks and our public spaces. And, excited to see we have bathroom get built at the parks where they need it.
The section when we talk about the budget is where is the money coming from? And the majority of the budget comes from actually property tax. And something that happened last budget was we were able to tier the systems and allocate specifically to address where the revenue is coming from. So we're not taxing our local residents who call Kaua'i home. And that's something that I highlighted in the conversation, was that the majority of where these revenue comes out allows us to prioritize the local communities are actually coming from the hotel industry, from the TV art industry, where property tax there is actually higher than regular resident local people, to allow us to fix the things that needs to be fixed, to address the issues that needs to be addressed, and make sure that we have a fair system of county budget that takes care and prioritizes the local needs of our community. So when we talk about, for the first time that you get to experience a much larger budget than we normally experience, you can rest assured that funds are coming directly, a majority from the visitor industry and not from the residents that are in Kaua'i. And so the highlight, I think, was really wonderful that I like to share, and maybe Councilor Ali talk about is that there was a proposal that passed during the budget. Oftentimes what happens is the mayor's administration will present their budget, then we'll have deliberation, and the community shares their input. There's three things that was addressed in that proposal and that asked. One is addressing CRB, which is Coconut Rhinoceros Beetle. The second was addressing the needs of our community through the YWCA. And then thirdly, addressing needs of the Kupuna and serving nonprofits regarding to bus passes. And so what happens in the budget process allows us to have this dialogue, make sure that the community is engaged, and see if there's anything that we need to make any adjustments, and we just make those adjustments. So I wanted to see if Councilor All would share a little bit about CRB and why we prioritize. You help make sure that we prioritize this budget unit.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, it's been a struggle over the last 6 months to figure out how the county can even respond to such a huge biosecurity threat. As you know, our county is not really established in the sense of biosecurity. I think even an agricultural department that's prepared to respond to such a need. So it's really kind of difficult for us. I mean, even within our own departments, we need to manage these beetles in our parks. We need to manage our green waste responsibly. So super thankful for the mayor's administration being willing and open to designated funding for this need, and then for the council for reallocating even more money to this. And then grateful today we had also the $150,000 that was moved through the Department of Agriculture to the county that's going to be going to green waste management, and hopefully maybe a mobile burner for us to deal with contaminated green waste. And so all of this is a start to a need that is actually much greater than even that allocated money, but at least we're starting somewhere. And I'm super thankful for also the attention to the little fire ant issue, which is huge, especially on the south side as we see that infestation spread. So thankful for that money, hopefully getting in front of that one and cutting that off before it becomes an established pest like we're quickly seeing Coconut Rhinoceros Beetle become here. So I think it's just a drop in the bucket, and it's just a start for what we really need to address this. But I'm hoping that more support is coming from the state and the federal agencies. I have the opportunity on Friday to go around with some of the governor's team, and we're going to be viewing some of the impacts that we've seen on Kaua'i and within the golf course, and kind of asking and trying to collaborate more with the state who is responsible for our biosecurity response, and also the federal government. These beetles came through to the Department of Defense, and the movement of military vessels and flights in between Guam. It's likely they've kind of acknowledged and admitted that it's likely that that's how the beetle got to all of them. So for us, I also hoping that the federal government will help step in and help us manage this growing threat to Kaua'i as we see them rapidly spreading across the east side. We've been talking to some experts this week and realizing that it really might be the dominant winds onshore to Kaua'i that are staying, instead of them moving laterally along the coastline, to actually be moving inland up Waihua and Homesteads, where we're seeing the infestation spread. So hopefully this money can start to help us combat these spreading infestations, and particularly their larval stage. So that the emphasis on green waste is really because these beetles are larvae for 5 to 7 months. So we have a huge window to catch them in the larval stage before they even develop into beetles and go off and lay eggs. So we're kind of trying to get ahead of the infestation. So yeah, super thankful for the budgeting that has been allocated to the invasive species. That hopefully it's just the start.
Yeah. And what doesn't often be seen and heard in these budget discussions are the very unsexy part that is most important to all of you, which is roads, trash, sewer, water, electricity, all the things that the infrastructure of our community, some of the things that doesn't sound like fun things to talk about as CRB is, because it's so common, but it has and is it is critical, and it also is being addressed in this budget, especially in the CIP, where the mayor and administration and the council has prioritized repairing a lot of deferred maintenance, as mentioned by Council Chair Bozo. Some things that haven't been addressed for years and that the community has been shared are being addressed this budget season. One of the biggest ones is actually the one that was included in the proposal, which is the bathrooms at Medina Stadium. So looking forward to the administration executing that project as soon as possible with these funds this year, so that our community can get those things in there. And those are the small pieces that aren't as seen as prominent, but as important to us. So any other comments that you'd like to share, Councilor Olive?
No, it was just a great budget session, great meeting today. I feel like we were efficient. We covered a lot of ground.
As always, we need your input. Be sure to check out the video and watch back the entire meeting at Oike TV on YouTube or on our website, kaua'i.gov. It's important for your engagement so that we can get your community feedback so we can make the most informed decisions on your behalf. And all for watching, please stay tuned. Aloha.
Congratulations! You made it to the end. Thanks for tuning in to the Kaua'i County Council Update. I'm Olivia, your host, and if you enjoyed this content, be sure to subscribe, comment, share it with your auntie or uncle. This is Olivia from Huike, signing off.
Ho'ike Kaua'i Community Media's president and CEO is Allegra Gaines. Administrative assistant, Leiko Someda. Production and education services by Roger Olson. Production and IT services by Max Richardson. News and events producer, Trisha Allen. County producer and social media manager, Olivia Franco.